Yes, I play with scissors for the sheer fun of it. Let's play with a pair of shears that came in to certify for the ISSA, which is the International Scissor Sharpeners Association. In fact, it's two of them. So let's see if they are going to pass. I always say when I get to this part that I am super psyched and optimistic that this shear is going to pass. And what am I talking about passing? The International Scissor Sharpeners Association is an international group that sharpeners, shear sharpeners can become members of, and if they want to certify, I do the certification. Totally subjective. I know who sends it in, but what keeps me honest is I'm going to videotape everything I see. So if you disagree or something, put it in the comments below, or you saw something I didn't see. But I always start out that I'm overly optimistic. This time I really feel like this person is going to pass. And this is going to be a short video. Why do I think that? Well, number one, he sent them in quickly after getting them. The ones that hold them a long time, those, from the time we send it out to them, the time we get it back, usually are less likely to pass, which makes me think they've been struggling with them. Number two, there's a written test, and he got everything right on the written test. Number three, when he sent them back to me, he just called me on the phone to say, did you get them? Did you get them? Did you get them? So usually people aren't that excited unless they feel certain they're going to pass. The ones that kind of hesitant, they're like, well, whenever you get around to it. So let's see. I've got it here. It's a USA sharpener from the other side of the United States. So he would have called me like early in the morning from where he is. So let's take a look at him. Now, if you're new to my channel, I have a lot of videos on sharpening, and then I have a lot of videos on the certification for the ISSA. So make sure you subscribe, and you can go to my channel and look at some links if you want to see more certification. If you think you want to do the certification, it's on my website where you can go to have these shears sent to you. But then I highly suggest you watch a lot of these, and especially the one where you see how I damage them, because if you watch them, there's no reason to miss anything on this written test, because I go over everything. So here's the two shears, and the first thing I do is I test them on dry, very thin toilet tissue. You can see my hand through here. The cheaper the better. Puff tissue works, but this has worked really well for me. And what this does, this tells me if all the burrs are gone, the nicks are gone. What tells me how sharp it is usually is me feeling it with my thumb and then cutting hair to see if it pushes or it cuts through the hair nice. So those are what I'm looking for. So I'm going to try cutting dry first, then I'll be cutting wet. And wet is a much harder test to pass. When they do the certifications for the other organizations that are a little bit more sophisticated and objective, they also use hair and wet tissue. So dry. Oh, no. What's going on? No, don't tell me. Will it cut hair? He said he tested them. He said he tested them really good before he sent them to me. It cuts hair, but it's not cutting this dry tissue, and I know it won't cut wet if it doesn't cut dry. Now, I'll come back to that later. Let's see if this one cuts. Okay, it cuts dry. That's good. wet. Lifting it up, pulling my thumb out, least pressure possible. Okay, this cut's wet. Convex edge cuts well, pulls a teeny bit at the tip. You see that? But that's not enough. I don't think a hairstylist is going to notice that. So that wouldn't cause him not to pass. This one, see what is going on with this beveled edge. I'm going to start out, usually let's look at this beveled edge and see what I'm seeing that's going on here. Now, anytime a shear doesn't cut, even if it seems tight when it's these lightweight handles like that, the first thing I'm going to suspect is the screw. And I'm going to tighten the screw. I turned it, like if this was a clock, I went from 5 minutes till to straight up and down. That much of a turn. No. So why is this not cutting? I don't feel any nicks in it. It just doesn't feel sharp. See if I see anything with the magnifier. It doesn't look like a crisp edge, and I'm looking to see if you see what I'm seeing. It's just, alright, here's the bevel edge. And it looks like maybe right there on the edge, it's just not a crisp edge. But he had to have taken off metal because the nicks are gone. Does cut hair. And that's what's key, is the cutting the hair. Now, it's a little bit of push, but not terribly bad. Let's see what I see here. Could have done a little bit better job polishing. A lot of scratches on the surface here. Feel pretty sharp. The ride line looks decent. It's a little bit of a dip right there. Do you see that little bit of a dip? And you can see how it's got a lot of scratches on the surface. And see, this one has that same little dip. How does this one cut hair? Push is pretty bad. And these had me so puzzled that rather than just send them back and see what he can do with them, I'm going to give them a quick sharpening and see if they cut okay for me when I'm doing like my quick sharpening, and that'll tell me if it's something he's doing or something weird about these scissors. I don't know. So watch me sharpen them. 800 grit, flat plate. I've set my clamp at 35, should be about right. I'm not worrying about the side with the serrations. I'm just going to come in here and pull up a burr. I wonder what angle he did them at, because I'm not getting a burr. Let me do a rub test. Let me see what angle he's sharpened these at. It's definitely not 35. And I might test those too. I'm going to try 25. These feel pretty blunt. And I don't bother to take them apart. Looks like maybe 30. Let's test it at 30. Yeah, 30 is what he did him at. Let's just go with his 30. Okay, I've got a burr all the way down. I'm going to cut it off on a paper towel. Cuts fine. Yeah. So something he's doing wrong, because I mean you saw how quick that was to make it cut. Huh. And these really push hair. See? Look how they push hair. It's like it's not a crisp edge. Well, these definitely didn't pass. Let's mess them up again a little bit. Okay, I've got a few nicks in there, so I'm going to send these back with a few nicks in there and have him redo it, and might as well send these back too and see if he can improve them. I mean, if these cut beautifully, I might have, yeah, but it didn't quite do it. And that tip looks a little suspect there too. Look at this. See this tip? It's like he lifted up a little bit. But right there, you see it's a little bit of a dip down. But that wouldn't stop him from passing. That would be just one of those things to improve. So I think he can improve on these and definitely on these. So I'm not sure what's going on. So one more disappointment.